Boa tarde! Welcome back, friends, amigos. Well, what am I going to talk about today? Something that happened last night. It was late at night, well after midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was watching YouTube. I was just scrolling through YouTube and looking for something to watch. And unexpectedly, up popped my mother. Yes, my mother, who died in the year 1997. That was something like 28 years ago. I was certainly not looking for my mother on YouTube, but she does pop up unexpectedly sometimes. How is that possible? How does my mother pop up here in Bahia, Brazil, 6,000 or 7,000 miles away from the United States? Well, my mother had several successful careers, and one of those careers was an actress, a television actress. In the 1950s and early 60s, she was a pioneer, really, of early television, as was my father. But my mother, as in everything, was far more successful than my father ever was. And she was a working actress during those years. When I was a young child, I would sometimes see her more often on television than I would at home. Anyway, later in life, she went into the publishing industry. But when she died in Manhattan, New York City, I was, of course, cleaning out her apartment, getting ready to sell it. And in her closet, I found some film canisters, old film canisters. They were so old, they were starting to decompose. They had this strange smell to them. But I opened up the tin canisters, and there was film in there. And, I unreeled a little bit of it. I could see that it was looked like television shows and commercials. And she was obviously in them. And I thought, wow, I had never seen these before, at least not since my early childhood. So I took it to a video transfer place, and they were able to transfer the old film onto video for me, and later onto a disc. What are they called? The compact disc. And I was very surprised. And of course, I made copies and sent copies to family. I also uploaded a few of them to YouTube. And one of them went viral. One particular commercial. She did lots and lots of television commercials. I believe about 500 different commercials. And she also appeared in dramatic programs and television series, etc. But there was this one particular commercial that I found that really stood out and has gone viral, as I said. I uploaded to YouTube, and it's got like 2.5 million views, and it's been copied and reproduced by other YouTubers. At first, when I would find my upload of her commercial on other people's channels, it would bother me. But I subsequently said, what difference does it make? The more the merrier. And, I don't get any money from it. Despite the 2.5 million views, I can't claim that I made the video, I made the commercial. I certainly didn't have anything to do with it, except that my mother appears in it. So let people make copies of it, and they do. So last night while I was scrolling through YouTube, this commercial showed up on somebody else's channel. It's often used by film students and university students who are studying studying marketing, I should say. And they use it as a classic example of marketing making big claims, or in this case, false claims. Because in this commercial, she claims that Coca-Cola makes her thin. So that's why it's become kind of a cult classic and why so many people have reproduced this commercial of my mother. Anyway, it's interesting that I'm 6,000 or 7,000 miles away, but like a ghost, she shows up unexpectedly in my life. And anyway, rather strange and interesting phenomenon that I don't look at her commercials or TV programs often at all. Extremely infrequently. Maybe occasionally when she comes to mind at her birthday or at Christmas. She has a couple of Coke commercials that were done at Christmas time with Christmas tree, etc. And I'll upload that to my Facebook page as kind of a Christmas, tongue-in-cheek Christmas greeting. But I don't look at them. So this showing up last night at 2 o'clock in the morning here in Bahia, Brazil, was a bit of a surprise. Let you give you a few snippets of this commercial and a few other commercials and dramatic TV program called Tales of the Black Cat that she appeared in, and actually my biological father produced and directed, just to give you a taste of my crazy mother, who was very successful as a businesswoman and as a creative person. Not so successful as a mother, but hey, that's a long time ago. I don't hold it against her anymore. My mother also published a best-selling memoir. There it is. I have a copy of it down here in Brazil. Now, this first video commercial I'm going to show you is the Coca-Cola commercial that went viral. This is just a part of it. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. Commercials were long back in those days. They were a whole minute long. So I'm just showing you segments.
You know, this was me 5 years ago, and it's still me. If I confess, I'm a waistline watcher from way back. Well, that's enough for today. Now for a lively lift. Ice-cold Coca-Cola. There's no waistline worry with Coke, you know. Actually, this individual-sized bottle has no more calories than half a grapefruit. Every day. Oh, and remember, Coke is low in calories, too. Say, now, don't you get any thinner.
And I think you can understand why that commercial went viral, because of its outlandish claim that Coke keeps you thin. Well, you can also make a joke out of that. You know, a certain kind of Coke will keep you thin, but not Coca-Cola. Although I will say that back then, that commercial was made in 1960, 61. The Coke bottles were a lot smaller, you know, compared to the giant bottles that are sold today that people drink all in one sitting. So at least that.
Now do this. Swell! Look, Mom.
Wonderful. Can't start too young to use gleams. It answers the one problem our whole family faces. That's not always being able to brush after meals, even though it's best. That's why so many families use only gleams.
Mouth odor for most people. It's for people who can't brush after every meal.
What do you think of that? No wonder they're so big and round and juicy. All you care about is the taste, isn't it? Don't forget all those wonderful vitamins and peaches. They help make sure you stay just this healthy. You want some more?
This 1956 Westinghouse is called a stoop saver. Because, see, all the foods you use the most are up top here, right on level with you. Now, the giant roll-out freezer is right below. House Showcase Crisper. It chills down, open like this.
And then here are some other commercials. One, I think it's a toothpaste commercial, Gleam, I think. And my mother was a blonde, but for some reason in this commercial they had her, I guess, dye her hair, and she's a brunette.
Randall? Randall? Randall, stop it! You know, I can't stand anymore.
Finally, there's this clip from the television program Tales of the Black Cat, which was written, produced, and directed by my father. But what I find interesting about this, she stabs her husband and then burns down the house, which is very symbolic of her real life, where she walked out on 3 husbands, not literally, but figuratively stabbed them in the back, and burned down, figuratively, 3 different houses and moved on. Unfortunately, my brother and I got dragged through all of that drama. So this little clip is a little closer to the truth than perhaps one might imagine. Oh, and as you can see, I had to hold up my cell phone and video them right off of the television, because I have very primitive skills when it comes to creating YouTube videos. That's the only way I knew how to do it. So hopefully you can see it. So anyway, enough of that. It's another beautiful sunny day here in Bahia, Brazil. I need to go out and go for one of my long 2 or 3 hour walks. And let's see. So let me get a start. I think it's about 2:30 in the afternoon, so I better get started. Gets dark here about 5:45. So time to get out and enjoy the day. Thanks for joining me here today, and I'll see you all soon. As always, beijos, ciao. Oh, and I didn't give much background information about my mother or my father. I do have a video where I talk about my rather strange parents and childhood and upbringing, so you can look for that. I think I did that about 6 months ago. Anyway, beijos, ciao.